A 1-hour task takes days to get approved. This experience isn't a sign of a broken system. It's the sign of a system working exactly as it was designed to, just with consequences that no single person ever planned for. This is a common experience, a kind of invisible friction that slows things down in almost any organization. Imagine a task that only requires 1 hour of focused work to complete. But that 1 hour of work is held up by an approval process that stretches over several days as it passes through different people or even entire departments. So, how does this happen? Well, this kind of slowdown usually isn't the result of some big top-down decision. Instead, it's the quiet outcome of many small and seemingly rational choices that were made over a long period of time. The entire process usually begins with just one single rule. And that rule is almost always a logical and well-intentioned response to a very specific problem. It starts when an error occurs. It might be minor, but it causes a delay, or maybe a small financial loss, and everyone involved agrees that it really shouldn't happen again. So, for example, let's say a team is producing projects reports, but every report is formatted differently. This inconsistency makes it really difficult to compare progress across projects or to share information efficiently. The team's response is completely sensible. They get together, agree on a standard format, and create a simple checklist to make sure everyone follows it. It's a direct and effective solution that ensures every future report will be consistent. And at this point, the goal is very simple. Just avoid repeating that one specific error. It's a targeted solution for a very real, tangible problem. But what starts as an informal agreement often doesn't stay that way for long. To make sure the solution actually sticks, especially as new people join the team, that simple action gets formalized into a documented procedure. That checklist is now written down, becoming a formal set of instructions, a standard operating procedure. This documentation helps ensure that anyone, whether they're new or experienced, can perform the task correctly and get the same result every time. And the goals of formalizing it like this are perfectly clear. It's all about achieving uniformity, getting quality output, and reducing miscommunication. Really, it's about making things more efficient. And when you look at it in isolation, this one procedure is an undeniable improvement. This process, however, isn't just happening in a vacuum. While one team is busy solving its reporting problem, other teams, somewhere else in the organization, are addressing their own unique challenges in the very same way. Across the entire organization, different teams are independently running into small errors. And just like our first team, they're creating their own sensible, targeted solutions to fix them. So, for instance, while Team A is creating its mandatory checklist for reports, maybe Team B over in another department is introducing a new request form to stop unapproved software purchases. Both of these rules make perfect sense on their own, within the specific context of the teams that created them. But over time, the organization becomes layered with all of these individual solutions. Each one was a rational fix for a specific problem, but, and this is the key, they were never designed to interact with each other. And this is where the unintended consequences begin to emerge. The sheer volume of all these well-meaning individual rules starts to create a new kind of organizational weight. Suddenly, a task that used to be simple now crosses the boundaries of several of these independent procedures. Launching a new project, for instance, is no longer just a matter of getting started on the work. Where before the process might have been fairly straightforward, now that same task requires you to navigate the finance department's budget procedure, the IT department's security review, and the project management office's reporting standards, and each of those comes with its own separate forms and approvals. With each of these procedures acting as another checkpoint, the overall speed of work naturally starts to slow down. Every single handoff from one department to another introduces a new opportunity for delay. And this leads to a really fundamental shift in how people's time is spent. A much larger portion of effort now goes toward simply coordinating the work. Things like navigating procedures, filling out forms, and waiting for approvals, then goes toward actually doing the original task. So what this accumulation of rules really reveals is a fundamental tension, one that exists at the heart of almost any large system. That slowdown we feel isn't really a sign of failure. It is the perfectly logical outcome of a system that has been built, piece by piece, to prioritize things like consistency, minimizing errors, and ensuring that outcomes are predictable. And this reveals the core trade-off. Any system can be optimized for consistency and safety, or it can be optimized for speed. But it becomes increasingly difficult for it to be optimized for both at the same time.